we start in Mayapack. Plenty of support for New Rochelle head coach Lou DiRienzo, who was reassigned this week by the school's superintendent for reasons she would not say. Rich Ticello taking over as interim coach, but it was a group effort in this one. Huguenots facing Utica Proctor in the Class AA quarterfinals. That's Jesse Parson doing what he does best, finds the end zone. It was 7-zip. Tied at 7 until late in the game when New Rochelle scored 2 touchdowns in 1 minute and 19 seconds. Parson had both of them, then a shaky 51-yard touchdown run. Then after a Proctor turnover, the senior basically runs the exact play. Breaks some tackles, and he's going to go in. A 35-yard score. Just like last week, Parson had a big fourth quarter. Coaching staff celebrated, as did the players. This one was for Coach D. New Rochelle is headed to the Class AA state semifinals, winning 21-7.
Big for us emotionally, and we're just happy to keep advancing. We're just going to keep playing ball through all the adversity.
The kids did everything that they had to do. We just are Coach D's sons, and the way we prepare, you miss him, but we didn't miss a beat in terms of, because we're all Coach D's sons, and that's the way he raised us to prepare for these games.
The words from Ray Rice. And with that, we welcome you into the News 12 Sports Rush. I'm Pete Ruff. It was a wild weekend of Section 1 football state playoff games in Mayapack. None more emotional than the one you just saw. New Rochelle and Proctor in the Class AA quarterfinals. Let's welcome in Andrew Rappaport. And crazy week in New Row. The football players put it aside. Of course, they're behind their coach 100% out of their coaches. But they did it. They were able to pull out the win and move on.
We talked all season, just give them the state championship now. And we had some fun with it all season because they're putting up all the points. But that's something that you don't expect. In the middle of the week, right before your playoff game, you find out coach is not here. And I know what Ray said, that they were all a family. But the bottom line is he's the coach. Yeah. And he's the mastermind behind the operation. And what happened to him doesn't seem right. No,
and the whole community is behind Coach DiRienzo.
Right.
The players, obviously, everybody in the school, the teachers union at New Rochelle, everybody's behind Coach DiRienzo. So hopefully this gets solved this week, and Coach is back on the sidelines.
Yeah, everything you read, everything you hear, it's that the community loves this guy, and the community was doing it. The team was doing it for the coach. So. Listen, you hope he's back soon. I don't know what the superintendent has planned. You hope he's back. You hope it's not a long-term thing. But they overcame a lot of adversity, and that's the biggest way to respond is to overcome adversity and give Coach D a reason to come back. Right. Because if they would have lost, then it would have been for nothing.
It would have been even worse than it already is.
So now there's a reason for Coach G to come back, and hopefully it's real soon.
And Shenandoah is next on the list in the state semifinal games.
The Albany Power, good basketball school.
Good football.
Good football, so it's not going to be easy, but if Coach D is back in the saddle, then
more motivation.
We'll get used to them. We'll get ready for them to put up 40-something points again like they do all season.
Next Saturday in Middletown. All right, Class A quarterfinal happened on Friday night. And Rye trying to get back to the state semis for the first time since 2008 when they won it all, taking on Auburn of Section 3 first quarter. Declan Lavelle airs it out for Quinn Kelly. A 35-yard strike. That was the start of a big game for the two. Later in the quarter, Lavelle to Kelly. This one's 34-yard touchdown. Lavelle had 5 touchdown passes for them to Mr. Kelly.
Oh, only 5?
Yeah, second quarter more the same. This time Lavelle to James Mackle, letting some other guys in on the fun.
How nice.
Garnet's defense just as impressive. They're looking like a pack of hyenas here, taking down the Auburn QB. Rye rolls to the state semis, winning 49-13. Lavelle became the school's all-time leading passer with 2,411 yards. You guys have been on a roll. Does it feel like you're kind of reaching your peak here?
Yeah, it definitely does. Everybody's coming back from being injured, so we feel like we're getting the full team back, and we're really hitting our stride right now.
The team played great. This is only our 5th game as a whole offensive line, so we're really gelling together, and we're getting in our groove.
All right, Class B quarterfinal, Ardsley and Port Jervis. Second quarter, down 7, Luke Mantini to Ryan Watson. The extra point, tied it at 7. Move to the third, the Raiders driving. The pass is tipped and picked off by Watson. But Ardsley's ensuing drive would stall. Port Jervis would go to its bag of tricks after that. The toss to Freddie Blue. He airs it out. to Robert Valancia, a 28-yard touchdown. It was 14-7. The Panthers would catch a break in the opening minutes of the fourth. The punt is mishandled. Von Cobbler falls on it. Ardsley back in business. From the 6-yard line, Jalen Osborne around the outside, scampers in. 14 apiece. Ardsley's next possession. This would be the turning point. Mantini's pass is tipped and picked off. The ball comes loose, but it's recovered by the Raiders deep in Panther territory. Jervis would go in for a 20-14 lead. Late in the game now, Ardsley trying to tie it up, but Mantini's pass.
Oh, look at that.
Looking like Odell Beckham with that one hand. Check his hand for Stickum.
Yeah, Marcus Best there.
Raiders
nice
run out the clock. Ardsley wins 20-14.
Ardsley falls.
Ardsley falls 20-14.
Yeah, another tough loss.
I was so excited about the one-handed catch.
It was a great catch.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, poor Jervis. And his last name is Best. It was one of the best catch of the day.
Yeah.
Tough loss for Ardsley. Again, second year in a row they fall in the States like that. But Rye advances to play Cornwall. And that should be a great showdown. You know, we talked about Cornwall all year and how good they are. We'll see if their quarterback comes back, Simo. But
when the matchups you anticipate all season finally come true, something went right, and that's a lot of fun. You've been looking forward to it. It happened, and now we go.
It should be great. Great offensive game. It's going to be again at Middletown. This one will be on Friday night. We'll see how the weather is up there. But it should be a high-scoring game.
A lot of high-impact games at Middletown. Soccer last weekend, football next weekend. Middletown is the place to be.
Yep.
We'll get to soccer a little bit later in the show, but Middletown's a nice field over there. Yep. I love that big jumbotron they got. Right?
They do. It is nice.
Yeah, it's a great field. Anyway.
All right, how about we move on to the Class C state quarterfinal game. Also, this one in Kingston. Valhalla facing Chester first quarter. Michael Dawson to Mahari Davis Jr. He zigzags his way around defenders all the way to the end zone, 47 yards, 7-0 Vikings. Second quarter now, Chester looking to answer, but Joe Battiato is taken down by Joseph O'Neill. That forced a Hamiltonian punt. Ensuing Vikings drive, check out the trickery here. Even fakes out our cameraman. Mahari Davis Jr. gets the handoff, then tosses 31 yards to a wide open Sammy Masudo.
Come on, cameraman, don't be faked out.
I know. Well, that was more than enough offense. Vikings defense did its job, causing a fumble here. Valhalla sails, allowing just 8 points, the final 19-8.
There's a good deli in Chester. I've been there a few times. Class D state quarterfinal. Tuckahoe minus starting quarterback Justin Lee for suspension. The Tigers' Michael Myers says, I got your back, Justin. Reaches over the goal line. Extra point no good. Tied at 6. Move to the fourth. Waterville threatening on 4th and 7. The pass is picked by my man, Draz
Parakovic.
In the end zone. Last week he had a pick 6 also to keep it even at 6. It stayed that way until late in the fourth. Myers gets the handoff, barrels in. Tuckahoe had its first lead, 12-6. Waterville would drive down to the 10 on 4th and goal. Tigers defense holds strong.
There you go.
The play had no chance. Tuckahoe gets the ball and runs the clock out. The Tigers headed to the state semis for the first time in 4 years, winning 12-6.
So a good job by Tuckahoe without their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
A freshman came in, Annunziata.
Cool.
Yep.
Calm.
Yep.
Under pressure. So that means the future's in good hands too.
Yeah. Held his own. Did a nice job. They got the win.
Yep.
They got to move on. Tuckahoe's going to take on Mariah next Friday in the state semifinals, and Valhalla goes on to play Governor.
Where's Governor? I don't even know. I've heard of that school.
Obviously, it's on the eastern part of the state, should be.
I've heard of a lot of schools in New York State. We've been doing this for so long, but I've never heard of Governor.
Yeah, well, small school, but good. We'll see what Valhalla's playing good. You know, they're playing nice.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Tuckahoe. Both teams going on, so it should be a busy weekend of Hudson Valley teams in Middletown for the state semis.
Next week, everybody, I'm going to make a map on the show where Governor is.
Okay.
All right, just
there you go.
So, because I'm sure I'm not alone, that I'm not the only one who doesn't know where Governor
little
is.
geographical history.
There you go. There you go.
Wherever it is, but good job by them. Now, how about the Catholic schools?
We talked about it all season long. It wasn't going to be easy. I mean, I sound like a broken record, but every week it's the same thing. And we said Cardinal Hayes. They're a powerhouse, and Everybody found out how good they are.
And Hayes goes and beats Iona Prep the way they did last week at Iona Prep. Now they got to come and take on Stepinac, who, of course, Stepinac won the earlier matchup. But we're going to see what happens. AAA championship.
Yeah.
Stepinac going for the three-peat against, its Bronx rival Cardinal Hayes, Andrew. The game was on Long Island. Stepinac going with the all-blue unis, down 19-7 in the second quarter. Joey Carino showing off his great arm, connects with Quentin McCauley. The 38-yard play put the ball at the Hayes 16, but Crusaders could not cash in. Third quarter, Hayes on the move, but Kevin McKenna with the strip. Rafael Fasolino picks up the loose ball, preventing any more damage. Fourth quarter, Hayes now puts it out of reach. Tafari Blackstock from 11 yards out makes it 25-7. It was not the Crusaders' day, as Carino would get sacked 8 times. Cardinal Hayes wins the AAA championship 25-7. So just a great great run here by Cardinal Hayes last few weeks.
Great win there. They were a powerhouse all season long. It just doesn't make sense to me when Cardinal Hayes, a city school, takes on Stepinac, a Westchester school, and you play at Mitchell Field on Long Island, and you saw the stands were empty. I mean, why not? I know these games are predetermined a while ago, but you should have a little bit of flexibility, because if they're not any Long Island teams, play the game at Fordham.
Well, I'm sure Fordham had a game or something. That's probably why.
Then play at a high school field that's easier for the fans to get to.
That's a Catholic school issue,
Yeah, it's just
it's a shame that both teams had to go all the way out there. But hey, first of all, it's about Hayes. So
no, I understand, and I'm not making excuses for Stepinac or Hayes, whatever. Just
all right, Andrew. Guess what? When we come back, we're going to shift gears to soccer.
Let's play some soccer.
Yep, state championship weekend in Middletown and Cortland. You're watching News 12 Sports Rush. It was championship weekend in Middletown as the best high school boys soccer teams battled for state titles. In Class AA, Ardsley was playing in the semis on Saturday against Brentwood of Long Island. Pick it up late second half. Brentwood's Eric Maldonado chips the ball into the box. Carlos Zabarubu gets there just in time to keep it scoreless. Goals were hard to come by in this one. They would go to overtime. Ardsley with a chance here, but Jose Badilla sends the shot just wide. Just over 3 minutes into the second OT, Brentwood would break through. Brandon Yanez finds an opening and sends the pride home. Ardsley falls in the state semis 1-0. Class A action, Rye taking on Jericho in the state semis. Rye had their chances. Here, Ardsley with a shot, but nice save by the Jericho goalie late in regulation. Jonathan Morara with the throw in. Rye gets the shot off, but another good save there. It was that kind of game for the Garnets. This one was all Jericho. The Jayhawks, Jordan Miller with the goal here. Rye falls in the state semis 3-0. All right, switching gears, girls' championships were held in Cortland. Monroe Woodbury going for its second straight AA title, facing Fayetteville Manlius. First half, Hornets with a free kick, but Angela Feeney there to kill the chance. It was scoreless at the half, 26 minutes to go. The Lady Crusaders changed that. Catherine Mullins finds Josephine Source, and she finds the back of the net. The champs remain the champs. Monroe Woodbury repeats, winning 1-0.
It feels amazing. Like last year was a great feeling, and the fact that we have it back, like we all wanted this so bad, like the feeling is just amazing.
There's no team in our school that's gone 2 years in a row state champs, 2 years at all state champs, and we finally did it. We're making history again, and I'm sure next year they'll do it again.
Class B state championship, Pleasantville and Central Valley Academy. Second half, Peeville down 2. Isabel Kapoor goal here from outside the 18-yard box. Peeville was down 2-1, just over 3 minutes to play. Katie Moses, check out this shot. Off the crossbar and in, it was tied at 4. Then with 4 seconds remaining in the game, Moses, she'll never forget this one, the game winner. Pleasantville comes from behind and wins it 3-2.
I was very upset, but we pulled together as a team. We kept our heads up, and it worked out, and we pulled through, and we won. I mean, it was insane.
I actually remember always joking about going to states, and we would always laugh it off, but it's surreal, and it's insane, and I'm so proud of us, and I love everyone.
Congratulations to Monroe, Woodbury, and Pleasantville for outstanding state championship wins. All right, last week, longtime Yorktown football coach Mike Rosigno stepped down after 15 years with the Huskers. He finished with exactly 100 wins and a trip to the state championship game 2 years ago. I caught up with the 42-year-old to talk what's next and his memorable time on the Yorktown sideline. Take me through the process. Obviously, this wasn't an easy decision.
Yeah, no, it was probably one of the tougher things I've ever had to actually kind of put into motion. You know, my kids are right now. My son is coming into ninth grade, and my daughter is in the, entering middle school. And as you might imagine, family is first and foremost to me, and being around my kids and my wife certainly is paramount. And it's been a long, amazing road here. Amazing to say the least, and I really don't have the words to describe it. But along the way, we've been preaching family, and that's kind of been who we are at Yorktown, and Yorktown football. And now it's kind of time for me to practice what I preach on the home front. I must have heard, if I heard from 1,000 kids, I would not be shocked. It validates a lot of things for me. It's an amazing emotional roller coaster that no one could ever understand unless you're a head coach and unless you were in a town like this. But it was the only consolation, and it was appropriate consolation, and I'm grateful for the people that took time to tell me that they understand that this is something that they knew I had to do. I certainly will miss this experience more than I could ever imagine, that I could ever put into words. But it's something that I have to do.
When I saw you at the end of the section championship game, you had to know at that point that was your last game.
I did.
What was this going through your mind then?
The thoughts that were running through my mind were, honestly, it was like a film reel, and I was trying to do my job in that moment and take care of my kids, my players, the best way I could. And the funny thing was they ended up taking care of me, because they instantly reverted to each other and said, listen, we're not going to spend our time here crying about the loss because we've had something so amazing. And I heard those words, and it was perfect. The victories, and I used those words with my players this past week, to always remember your victories. The victories that I'll remember the most are the personal relationships that I've forged with so many individuals that I will never forget, and I've had the chance to reflect on through messaging and through voicemails this week and through phone calls. That will be the single greatest thing I take with me, is every single relationship. I won't take any one of them for granted.
Do you coach again?
I hope so, truthfully. I hope so. It's definitely a part of me. It's what I feel like my calling has been, and I've loved every minute of it. I'm sure I will coach again. I mean, I hope so, man. I really hope I have that opportunity again at some point in my life when it's right and where it's right. So yeah, I sure hope so.
I'm sure Mike will. Well, he went on to say how fortunate he was to have a fantastic coaching staff around him for all the years. Mike is a good guy, and I'm sure he'll coach somewhere else. If not, who knows, maybe back at Yorktown. Well, the Lakeland girls field hockey team won its 10th state championship in 11 years over the weekend. An incredible feat. They took down Garden City, the team that knocked them out last year. Now, when we come back, we'll tell you what other Section 1 teams celebrated with them. Plus, we'll show you our game of the week and overtime thriller in Somers. You're watching the News 12 Sports Rush. We'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back. Our game of the week was in the Catholic Football League. Kennedy Catholic of Somers brought home its first Class A championship last week, and boy, did they do it in a thrilling fashion. First quarter, Kennedy's Clayton Proctor to Bobby Paisko, a 17-yard touchdown. Game was tied at 7. Jump to the fourth now. Gales down 4. Proctor uses his feet this time, scampers 7 yards for the score. Kennedy led by 3. Cardinal Spellman, though, would take the lead again, but as time expires, check out Liam Mulholland. Drills the 33-yard field goal to send it to overtime. First Gales possession. Proctor on the ground again, looking looking and finally finds some space. Goes 13 yards to the end zone. Kennedy wins a classic, the final 39-33. Great finish there. And in volleyball in Section 1, well represented next week in all 5 classes up in Glens Falls. Ossining, Hendrick Hudson, Ardsley, Valhalla, and Haldane will play in the semifinals. For the first time ever, Section 1 will have 5 teams up there. And in field hockey state championships, congratulations to Bronxville. They take home the Class C title. Great year for Horace Greeley. They came up a little bit short in field hockey, but
my favorite time of the year is anytime state championships are played up at the Glens Falls Civic Center. Me and you have been there countless times over the last 20 years. It's just such a great atmosphere for high school sports. So congratulations to the 5 teams going up there to play volleyball. It's just an awesome atmosphere. It's an awesome time up there.
It really is a lot of fun. And so we'll see. Next week we got volleyball and we have football. Should be another big weekend of high school sports. Andrew, another good show, brother. All right. For Mr. Rappaport, I'm P. Ruff. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Monday here on the News 12 Sports Rush.